Welcome Brawlers, I'm DG Hermit and our commander today is Tidus Blitzball Star. 1 generic, 1 white and 1 blue. We get a 2/1 legendary human warrior. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on Tidus. And whenever Tidus attacks, tap target creature and opponent controls. And we're gonna be trying to get in as much damage as we can with Tidus until our opponent loses. So our artifacts are gonna be ramp artifacts, Medicant Core, which can copy artifacts, Gold Force Topterix, it gives our legendaries Sword 2. And speaking of legendaries, we have Sai Master Thopteris. Whenever we cast an artifact, we get a 1/1 Thopter, and we can sacrifice 2 artifacts to draw a card. We also have Ursa, Lord Protector, which it gives us discounts for artifacts, instants, and sorceries. It can transform into Ursa Planeswalker if we have the Might Stone and Weak Stone. We also have Terra Branford, also known as Ursa Lord High Artificer. With Ursa on the field, we can tap any untapped artifact we control to add a blue mana. We can also pay 5 to shuffle and get something off the top. And while Ursa is famous for going infinite, in this particular deck we're not gonna be doing that with the second ability. Instead we're gonna be using just the first one by playing Animation Module. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a permanent, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 servo artifact. So with Ursa on the play, as well as our commander, if we put a counter on our commander, we get a servo. Then when that servo enters, our commander gets another counter, and then we can use the servo to tap for blue mana, and so on, until we get Tidus as big as we want, and as many servos as we want. Also, if we just happen to have a lot of regular mana out, we can also do that loop a finite amount of times. And to secure a little bit of Tidus damage, we're gonna be playing Skrelv, Defector Might, as well as Sword of Fire and Ice, and Sword of Forge and Frontier. And also for protection, Mithril Coat. It's indestructible and it can give our commander indestructible. We have Palantir of Orthanc. It's an artifact, but also it serves as a Fire Action Arena, sometimes after a couple of turns, but it's still good. From Final Fantasy we're trying out White Auracite and the Through the Ages version of Cryptic Command. We have 2 Tesserets, Tesseret Artifice Master, it +1 to make a Thopter artifact, and 0 to draw a card or draw 3 cards if we have 3 or more artifacts. The other Tesseret is Betrayer of Flesh. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact, or target artifact becomes a 4/4. In the 4-drop we also have Mineral Shield of Archive. She stops our opponent from casting spells or activating abilities during our turn. But more importantly, in this deck, whenever she attacks, we make X11 soldier artifact creature tokens, where X is the number of soldiers we control. So since she is a soldier, we start at 1, and then if we keep those, we get 2 next turn, and so on. We are running a couple of alchemy cards. We have Landlord Navigator. When this creature attacks, create a map token. At the beginning of your end step, if 2 or more artifacts enter, you get a Thieving Magpie. We have Excogitator Sphinx. It's a 4-drop, flying, 4/4 Sphinx Detective. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal damage to a player, investigate. Then you can just pay 1 mana and sacrifice a clue to seek an instant or sorcery. So if we are hitting our opponent constantly, we can pay 1 mana to get an instant or sorcery. They are usually counter spells, removal spells, or in some cases protection spell. Or even cards like Voyage Home, Reverse Engineer. That's the deck, so let's get into the queue and see if our opponent is willing to play Brawl. Ooh, I haven't seen that one before, Vincent Valentine. This hand is actually decent. Dark Ritual and Phyrexian Arena? Yeah, okay. Let's play Palantir since opponent feels like they have a removal spell here. Whenever our creatures die, Vincent gets counters equal to its power. And then it transforms into a 3/2 trample lifelink, and when that one dies, they get to transform it back to the front side. Well, they bring it back front side up, which means they lose all the counters. And because it casts lifelink whenever it attacks, you can afford to play cards like Phyrexian Arena and so on. Let's Thoughtcast here. And we do more. That's Landlord Navigator, because this is the turn when opponent is gonna play Vincent. Both to the bottom. And yeah, opponent might be thinking about their arena because Palantir is almost better, except for when your opponents don't take the first or second round. Tidus. Play Foundry, get a couple counters. We have Landlord Navigator attack. We make a Magpie and pass. Surge of Salvation, since our opponent is being so kind to us, I think we keep that. And we have protection for our entire team. And because they have their Darkness Crystal, they're gonna play Vincent and a removal spell. At least I would guess. Maybe 2 removal spells. Okay, they play Spectacle of Destruction. So yeah, I'm not sure what they run, but I would assume as many removals so that Vincent can keep growing and growing and growing. Which I guess is why the matchmaker is pairing us, because both of our commanders are all about this sacrifice, the growing things. They play a Course Marauder, we sacrifice the Magpie. Opponent gets a Spectacle counter, and they also get to draw with Morbid Opportunist. Arcane Signet. Ossolith. Oh, that's good because they also keep the counters with Vince. And they play Feed the Swarm. We're gonna sleep Tidus out the back. And since we don't like letting them draw cards, we're gonna Ossification. And we're gonna need another artifact this turn, so let's make a servo. Landlord Navigator goes off. And I guess we're gonna explore here. on the navigator. We're gonna send swords away. Or maybe not. Let's keep it. When it's gonna give us the cards. Or they're gonna take at least 4 damage. Maybe possibly more. Oof, just the 4. We got 5 with Spectacle. And I think they are regretting getting that Palantir. So what, could they have a Wrath? Yeah, I think a Wrath, probably. But they're not gonna play a Wrath with Vincent. Infernal Grasp, Search of Salvation. And yeah, they need to play a Wrath. Oh, Tergrid's Lantern, yeah. That's not gonna do it. So, yeah, maybe they were short on removal this time. Although they did play 3. But we have the answers for them. So I guess good games, Vincent. Genopa, Ancient Calamity. This hand is more like it. Okay. I'm gonna play Coastal Heart on white, since all our lands are blue. And we're gonna play Ursa and do some stuff with it. Opponent is gonna be drawing 3 cards. Well, when they eventually get to their commander, they're gonna put the counters on a zombie, and then the zombie's gonna attack, die because of Decade, and they're gonna get 3 cards. Corrupted Conviction. So we play our commander and Palantir. We're gonna make our opponent take 5 here with Thoughtcast. And we have a double removal now. Although we are missing white man. Should we crack the Mind Stone? See if we get another another white source. It seems like we don't. So let's go to combat. Genopa. Ooh, okay. Opponent jump blocks here. So let's pass. And we're gonna deal 8 if they take the damage here. Okay, they don't. So now we have a cryptic command. Diabolic Intent. Okay. see what they get. Toxic Deluge. Okay, we're gonna... okay. We have to let it go, I think. Swords on Genopa. Now I think we got combat. We will use cryptic now, but I need to think about what will it do. It can't counters, but it can still bounce something and draws a card. I mean, it cannot counter their commander, it can still counter pretty much anything else. Okay, Assassin's Trophy on Palantir. Let's let it go. Get a basic here, a plains. Column of the West tree. Counter and draw. Opponent reanimates, taking 3 damage. We're gonna create a servo. Here. Well, it Orasite. And the opponent concedes they were gonna be at 2 life. And even if they play their commander, we can remove it later. We were not gonna remove it here, but we had a way to dig. So yeah, maybe opponent didn't need to concede, but they didn't know what we had, so good games. Ash Princess of Dalmasca, a fellow artifact enjoyer. Okay, this hand is actually worse, but Cold Steel Heart. Let's get Landlord Navigator. Okay, we drew the white source, which means we can ossification, pay the 1. Pile of Galadriel. An opponent has only two lands. Let's play our Palantir here. Pay the 1. And no attacks. Mind Stone, yeah. Let's see if our opponent takes 5 here. They do. They have their own Mind Stone and Weak Stone. the heroes for one. Name human. Player commander and medicant core. Let's see if our opponent takes even more damage. Oh, they only take 3, but that means we get more speed up. Skyclave Relic with Kicker. Now, what should we do? Draw 3 and we discard Darksteel Citadel. We're almost at max speed, and I think our opponent is gonna be letting us draw from now on. Portal to Pyrrhix, yeah, okay. And we're gonna play Forensic Gadgeteer, Mirror. Try to scry for some action here. Land. Opponent can get either. They should have gotten Landlord Navigator since they are also an artifact deck. Ooh, Summon Bahamut. Or Palantir. That is rough. We paid the one. And we're also gonna send Medicant Core into Portable Hall. Opponent destroy this eye. And we need a way to deal with Bahamut. Okay, Reflection Net. That is exactly what we needed. So we should go to combat. And if our opponent doesn't block everything, we're gonna get only as sorcery as the only ones. Never mind. Okay, they block and block. So let's protect Gadgeteer. Gain 3 life. We're at full speed. And now opponents bring side. So they have Ash here. We're gonna play Esper Sentinel. And we're gonna make it Summon Bahamut. We're gonna keep our Cryptip command up. And I think we might have it if we use the command to tap our opponent's stuff. Gonna block. Let that resolve, and we're gonna counter tap all creatures. And if our opponent happens to have another artifact to make a up there, then the summon is gonna kill it with all our counter, and we're gonna deal 9 damage to them. Yeah, that's the game. Really good deck opponent, but I guess ours was better. And I'm really surprised we managed to survive through a portal to Phyrexian, although it makes sense, we didn't have much going on. Also, that last turn opponent maybe could have played Mirror if they sensed we were having something, but then they also needed to make a flying blocker, so they were against the wall. Ultima Origin of Oblivion. That's a ramp deck. They're gonna try to get Ultima, and then all of their colorless land make double colorless. So Ancient Tomb without the downside. Manifold Key. And they make an Eldrazi token. I guess we're gonna kill that. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get to 5 planes anytime soon, so I'm gonna place Palladium Mirror. Oh, okay. So let's pass. If they play something we can counter, we do. I guess that's good enough. And during our turn we're gonna Witch Enchanter their Palladium Mirror. That heralds the end. That's Ultima from opponent. We are going to play Retrofitter Foundry. And I think we have to pray here. Treasure map. Okay. They get to activate twice with the key. They keep it on top. That's never good. When attacks, they make one of our lands into a colorless one without types. Make a servo. Make our commander bigger. Master Thopterist. So now we can make another servo as well as keeping Swords of Salvation. So let's see if that Sword is gonna save us from whatever our opponent kept. Okay, they are going after our blue mana. And they have Cosmos Elixir. I mean, we are not too worried just because we don't have Cryptic. Okay, and we have Terra now. So our blue man is gonna be even safer. Here we can... but we shouldn't. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess we are gonna activate Terra, but I think we had to manually tap the mana. Oh. We get just the planes. Okay. So much for that. Opponent sacks a treasure to draw a card. Miracle, when you cast a spell in control of all things target player controls. And that cannot target us for now. Mishra's Bubble. And let's see, how does this work? We tap a servo and sack a servo to make a thought there. It has to tap, so do. Let's spin the wheel. And we get a Sphinx, which means I think we attack here. You and you, and we're gonna tap Emrakul here. Putting jump blocks, but we get a clue. We tap the servo for mana, sacrifice the clue to the Sphinx. We get an instant or sorcery, and that's a good one. But should we use it here? One has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Okay. Alright. That has another ability, so Gandalf the White. I think this is a Panharmonicon style deck, well, style commander. So a lot of enters triggers for legendaries. And also when they die. You make us legendary and artifacts as though they had flash. Entering or leaving causes a triggered ability, triggers an additional time. Okay, so let's go for our commander. Let's see what they have here. Mysterious Limousine. Semblance Anvil, and they are gonna exile an artifact. Palantir. We're gonna lose the life here. So we are gonna play Oracite and take their Semblance Anvil. Our opponent plays Gandalf, we can take it with the hover ship. Let's lose again. Oops, that was a punch. So we should probably stop. Place Gandalf. Gonna tap it and see if we get a land, a white land. Then we're gonna. Okay. Oh, since we drew, they get lost. Might as well. Sunfall. Back to the command zone. Oswald, Fiddlebender. And here we're gonna let them draw finally. Desert Betrayer of Flesh. We're gonna play Ursa. And we're gonna Hovership Fiddlebender. Then we're gonna equip the sword to Ursa, like tapping the Hovership and the sword itself. Buried Ruin, I'm thinking they're gonna take Portal to Phyrexia if they can. Opponent draws a card. We are gonna play Desert Betrayer of Flesh. And we're gonna do and discard Automaton.
Just as I do. I need results. Keep working.
Then we play a commander. And I think we have to attack with Terra. Our opponent plays Gandalf, then we get Dosification after combat. Opponent 6 with their gate. Mithril coat. Actually, can we have lethal here? They have their Guardian Idol, so probably not. Let's draw and discard.
Breakthrough is close.
I guess Kappa Cannoneer. And I think we play Mirror since that's gonna stop our opponent from casting and activate abilities. So I think that means we win here. Counter, counter, and you group bigger. True. And that's little. Good games, Gandalf. Kinda lived up to your name. Although, yeah, I think we really got lucky that we exiled Semblance Anvil when we had to. Otherwise, they would have had all the mana for their activations sooner, so. Good games. Against Yoti, Moag Ancient, non-creatures get +X/+X, or exits its power. Huh. Okay. So I'm thinking they're gonna be ramping. And maybe they have a couple of land creatures. Chromox already. And explore. We play Arcane Signet, Esper Sentinel, but it's not gonna draw here. Oh, maybe it is. Azusalos, but Siki. Okay, so what do we do here? We pass. We're gonna counter and return Chromox. They can have the mana back, but now they're gonna have to exile another card. Which it seems they don't want to. We play our Sphinx. And let's attack. We can trade for the Nexus. Okay, opponent decides to take it. Now they are further away from their commander. One Harmonicon. And we drew a command tower, so we're gonna take it. We get a clue and we can sacrifice it to get an instant or sorcery. Planar Genesis. We can also keep the clue for the Thought Monitor, and I think that's what we're gonna do. Vigorous farming. Or maybe we hold on the Thought Monitor. We're gonna play Tidus here, and we have Mana Drain, of course. So yeah. Our opponent's worst fears are gonna come true. We have the counter spell up. We keep making clues and making our commander bigger. Cultivate. Yeah, we let that cultivate resolve and we can play. We can activate the Merix, get a token, buff Tidus. Did they get the buff land from vigorous farming? I think maybe there's a way to make sure to you do, but I don't know. We draw our Ursa. Opponent goes to 7. And yeah, I don't think there's much they can do to win. Even if they play their commander, we can let it resolve. And it shouldn't be too much trouble. Now this forest can tap for an additional green mana. Nice, nice, nice. Wait, I think I said something where I was thinking I still had Cryptic Command up, so that was my mistake. Yeah, opponent concedes to the counter spell. Good games. Terra Magical Adept. So let's try to get colors. Sterling Grove. Citizen Champion, I think we have to deal with that right away. Summon Fenrir. And because it has Shroud, I cannot tap it, so let's play Mirror and pass. And then place Entity Tracker and cut up on Mirror. Okay, so we have a Witch Enchanter, which means yeah, we play Enchanter as a land, play a Navigator and pass to our opponent. If we draw another artifact, we can attack with everyone. Yukai Naturalist. And opponent plays their Spare Origins. And Cinder Pines. Should we offer trade here? Or maybe actually let's commit the Sterling Grove. We tap the Naturalist, get an artifact, and we explore. Spermaduin, and they play their Sterling Grove again. Guess we'll wait out Spermaduin. Seal of the Empty Throne. That gets a counter. Opponent plays Terra. And they get Starfield of Nyx. Another land from us. So what should we do here? Guess we play the case. And we tap Terra here. Opponent trades. We play Memory. And Skrill. So they should have a big enchantment here. Otherwise, they can copy Sterling Grove, Cinderpines, Inquisitive Glimmer, and Sunbird's Invocation. And Tuco reveals Sigil and a land. I think we kind of have to take the damage here. Coming of Transients. That's just gonna be a big one. And opponent has seal away, but nothing to seal. Triad of Elysian Grove. They can get Silent Hole Creeper. Ephemerate Terra. Okay. They have options here. They can take Eidolon, bury it in the garden, or Hunter's Talent. They go for the card draw. Opponent gets Defense of the Heart. Let's see what we get with our Thieving Magpie. And that's not enough to win, so good game. Against Steel Balloon, so they have a little bit of Merfolk thing going, but they're just gonna try to get their commander to deal damage to us because, or attack, just attack. Because they get to draw a card and it has indestructible with 2 Merfolk. So they just needed 2. They don't need to run a whole lot of them. We're gonna start with Esper Sentinel, and I think we're gonna keep our Moxen until later. Sapphire Medallion. So what here? If we exile Ossification, we can play Sai, get a couple of Thopters. Okay. Opponent has Subtlety. Side to the top, and the exile unwind. So we replace Sai, just in case they have a wash away. And we play Scene of the Crime. Okay, opponent decides not to attack. And we play our commander. Kindred Denial. Do they pay for Esper Sentinel? They do. And we're gonna tap an untapped artifact. Oops. No, we can't. I thought we had blue. My bad. Okay, opponent doesn't attack, so we should draw a card here. Discontinuity. Okay. Get a Mind Stone. Let's draw with the Mind Stone. Restoration Magic. Opponent finally attacks with Sylveon Spielon. Oop. No, cancel. We just want to block with Sai. Thought Monitor. And this is the matchup for Middle, if there ever was one. Opponent is thinking about something. Sublime Epiphany. So we're gonna counter their Epiphany. And we can bounce their commander. Okay. Sword of Forge and Frontier. Opponent plays Rewind. So we just pass again. And this time we are not gonna attack. Just to threaten to block their commander. Spielun. Reliquary Tower. A little ambitious from opponent. Godwick the Wizened. They draw 2. We are gonna crack our Scene of the Crime. Deseret Betrayer of Flesh. Opponent attacks with their commander. So we just block with everyone. We're gonna play Restoration Magic on our land since our opponent is trying to Field of Ruin. But we didn't say please, okay. Those were good cards. Cavern of Souls, gonna name human, player commander. Yeah, opponent is gonna destroy the cavern here. They kinda have to. But at least we have our commander in play, and we have an animation module, which means any artifact is gonna be... It's gonna be great for us. Opponent swords on Sai. Let's draw a card. So we kinda need an artifact land now. Or we need to resolve an artifact. And that works, so we get the whole board. And opponent concedes, yeah. Now every turn we're gonna be able to pay 4 to the animation module. Oh, sorry, just 3. And then start making even more servos. And opponent doesn't have their road wipes, their reverse rebuke, cyclonic rift or something of the sort. So we're gonna be huge and we're gonna win. Good games, opponent.